and enjoying Free League stuff, and I normally don't actually talk about much else. And the Schwarze Auge, even though I'm German, I hardly ever played it. When I was young, I was a Midgard player, still play Midgard, still prefer it. But a friend of mine, or actually brother of a friend of mine, got the Wirts aus dem Schwarzen Keiler and some of the base sets, and he tried to play it with us a few times. And we basically, I played a Streuner, I think, sort of a vagrant soldier of fortune. And we had a decent time, but I always thought that the rule system was a bit complicated. And especially now in the 5th edition, the Dark Eye's got this 3d20 roll. So for every test you do for skill, you have 3 attributes governing it, or 3 bits basically to it, and then you roll 3d21 for each of them, and then you have to balance points up. And some people apparently really love that. I don't think I can get my head around it unless it's supported by Foundry. So a little while ago when it first came out, I actually bought the Foundry rule set, and I watched another video from a chap called Tom, who does lots of good German tutorials. It's absolutely excellent what he puts together. And I just thought, you know what, I'm going to have another look at this. So, fresh system as always. Let's see what we get. Some modules provide, that was too quickly. So it says you can choose your language, German or English. For the purpose of this stream, I'm going to use English. Let's see what happens. You can drag and drop, or you get tips here. Okay, right. I'm going to zoom. I can't zoom in on this. I keep forgetting, guys. So you have to put up with the side as it is. So that's it. Then I get a couple of welcome things here and changelog, and the welcome things includes tutorial. This tutorial, I think that's a website opening. Yeah, that's VT Tom altogether. He does a lot of really good systems introductions and tutorials, but they are in German, so you need to speak some German for that. You've got a wiki link here on the site. So the first thing we need to do is, I think, go to the Compendium, to the journal. No, there's nothing imported yet. So other than like Free League systems, a lot of them have an automated import script. So you get a pop-up to say, welcome. Do you want to import? Yes, no. So we'll have probably to do this from the settings. Configure settings, module settings. Oh, yes, of course. I might not even have enabled them yet. That might help, wouldn't it? Now, there are various modules that they recommend. I know that, but I'm just going to go through the core ones for now, and hopefully I can find it. The Dark Eye, core rules, and introduction adventure. Save module settings. So, again, we get a clue here. You can add temporary modifiers to regeneration in the tabs, and now we have down here, we've got the introduction to the journal browser. So, available rulebooks. This is quite nice. You've got a nice little welcome screen here. And this is something that really reminds me of the implementation I've seen previously on Fantasy Grounds for instance, for Symbaroum. So you get this pop-up, and you have a browser, a chapter browser here on the side. And then the journal things open on the left, and the journals open on the right. We've got a structured tree here of journal entries. And that is all nicely linked. And I think this is probably, we've got a pin. There's no mouse over here. And there's an eye. The eye is probably show to players. I'll pop it out into its own journal, and then I can show it to players. Okay. And that might mean, if I'm really lucky, I need to see whether I can have my journal scaler installed. Journal scaler. If I'm lucky and it's not tied down in the style sheet, I might be able to zoom in on this. Let's have a look. Oh, I've got the notification still here. Is there anybody watching yet? No, but might come. You never know. So let's do that again. Journal browser. I've got my rulebook. I can go and pop that out into journal entry. And yes, wonderful. Wunderbar. I can scroll in to make it a bit easier to read. So very nicely styled. The scale here on the left gets in the way a little bit of the first letters. If you zoom to a normal level, that still happens. So style over substance, don't know. I can still read it, but yeah, you know how pernickety I can be. So the rule books are here in English. You can import the whole thing because it's currently the Compendium. We have the things about hero creation, and I wonder whether this is Foundry specific. This talks about page numbers from the rulebooks. Let me zoom that out again, just so you can see it better. The art is really nice, I have to say. It's got a very peculiar style. It looks a bit different to other games, but I quite like it. And it definitely has come along a bit as well since the... gosh, when was it? It must have been the 80s when I last played it. So, choose your experience level. I don't think this is Foundry specific. Attribute values. So I'm really going to blunder my way through this. I have done this before, but it's so many months ago now. I probably can't remember it, and I don't normally play this game. You have to keep that in mind. Right, so we've got this, and I really like this browser. This journal browser, I think, is a great idea. In here, the journal scaler does not work, but it's big enough for me to read. Just on the stream, it probably doesn't come across. So, hero creation, species, combat rules, work of the gods. Now, one of the things I notice is this is the base rule set, and in the changelog you can also see that there are new things available now. So there's a lot of sub-books. There's an armory, a bestiary, there's the divine magic is a new book, and if you start shopping around a little bit, in the F shop, as I call it, the Ulisses web shop, see whether I can get that onto the stream for a moment. You see a lot of good stuff on here, but virtual tabletops. Yeah, so what I'm currently showing you is this Dark Eye core rules for Foundry, and the bestiary costs $20. The adventure, the armory costs $20. You might be able to see what I'm talking about here. Yeah, and the other things is much more available for the German system, but these are currently the English ones. It can add up quite quickly. For the virtual tabletops, and fair enough, there's huge amounts of content, and I know it takes a lot of time to put this in. Really, I don't know. I haven't even coded it, just copied and pasted some of the stuff, and they've done a really good job, but it does add up. If you have 5 books of $25 each, yeah, that's a lot of money. You might not need them all, of course. So there's a bestiary, everything is explained here. So, what do we get? Let's go through my normal scenes. There are no scenes in yet, probably because I haven't imported them. So compendiums. It's far too small again for you guys to see. Sorry about that. So we've got nicely structured, actually. They put the items and the journal entries and macros and scenes separately. That's really nice, because a lot of the module makers just toss them into one folder and you have to find them. So what maps have we got? We've got, of course, the main political map and the main geographical map. And they are always the first ports of call. And then we have the introductory adventure. I'm just going to import that as well. I'm going to do the same with the journal entries, certainly for the introductory adventure. Macros, I'm going to have a look at them, so I'll import them. And then I probably will need all of the items. Ah, okay, that's where that falls down. I can't just click on items and say import all. So careers, combat techniques, cultures, disadvantages, advantages. The music in the background, by the way, is the soundtrack Schwarzes Auge. It's made by Erdenstern. I hope it's softly enough so it doesn't get in the way. But I bought that a while ago and thought I should use it. So. And then we've got the actors. There might be a way of having a script here, an import script to import it all. If so, I haven't found it, but it is there. Oh, yes, actually, one button I should explain, if I remember correctly, is this library button. Let me just get rid of these. At the top, you've got the library. And this is something I really liked. I just remembered this from a few months ago. So if you're looking for something in particular, let's say you're looking for a sword, you can just enter it up here and it searches right the way across your modules So it will tell you sort techniques, like the fighting techniques. It will tell you find the weapons. It will tag it with where they come from. So this DSA 5 core will be the compendium it comes from. Yeah, so this is something I have not seen in any other system. This sort of browser, library browser, where you can search, where you can do something like this. So for example, oh gosh, I know very little. You want to know about the spy. And the reason this is probably showing twice now is because I imported everything from the compendium. I might not have needed to do that after all. So if I wanted to have only the professions, I can filter this, research it. Like they're all professions, okay. Yeah, that's why it didn't change. Yeah, so this is something I really like. Magic religion, I can look for particular blessings, I can look across everything, or I can look at the zoo, and I think this probably is the bestiary. Yeah, wild boar, yeah, the imported one, the non-imported one. So this is, as I said, something I've not seen any other Foundry developer do with their systems yet, and I have to say I don't play 5e or Pathfinder. They might have it, but I love it. That's I really love. So we've got the configuration of the scene here, and I keep forgetting that my scene enhancement is not enabled, so I actually have to click into this. And here we go, here's a map. This is the big world of Aventuria. You will know what I'm going to say next. If you've watched any of my videos before, why have an ugly grey surround? Yeah, this is the sort of battleship grey that I used to get when I was building my models, my model ships. You can see that the hex grid runs right the way across. I just think this looks really ugly, but ugly. Yeah, so let's just touch this up. First of all, background color black. Now you can't see that the grid is running across. You can't see that there's a padding around it. Now I normally would switch padding off, but one thing I have to check is there any map pins on here? Because if you have map pins and you change the padding, the map pins move. There's no notes. I wouldn't expect any walls on here. I wouldn't expect any lights on here, so I should be safe to actually take the padding right the way down. Just doesn't add anything. And because it's this sort of map, yeah, have we got a scale on this map? Oh, sorry, I'm in the lights. Yeah, so I don't think the scale is configured properly on this map either. This sort of map, I might actually just have a marker on the group. This is where you are. Or to talk about this is further away. And then somebody might ask me, okay, I want to go from Trallop to Warholm. How far is it? And I'm going to say it's 360 yards. Don't think so. So the scales could have been done on here. Have we got a scale? Yes, we do. And the scale is... oh, this is always hard when that runs across. Is that a hex? 40 miles. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hexes. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's about 30 miles a hex, I reckon. Yeah, I'm sure somebody will correct me if that's wrong, but that's roughly what it is. And it's so easy to do here. So we just say grid scale 30 miles. Save changes. So if I now get the same question from, what did I say, Warholm to Trallop, 270 miles. That sounds more like it. So easily fixed. And what I actually also would recommend, but preferences do vary, is I would switch the grid off. Yeah. Now what's the quality of the map like? Let me just check out the scene size. It is 3000 by 4000. Okay, it's okay from this size. Some of the world maps are way bigger than that I've seen on Foundry before. And as soon as I get past this sort of level, it starts to break up. Yeah, and I can't get any further in than this, which might be fine. But yeah, I'm sure there's somewhere they've got some higher resolution set up for this. Also, let me see. Yeah, it's WebP. So at least they've gone for WebP and not for JPEG or something. So file size should be manageable on this. Good. You you need it in this game. There's so much background on this, but we have the same things with the hexes. This looks much clearer, and you can get closer, which is slightly odd, because actually on a political map you probably don't need to go that close. You know, you just want to have the overview. But yeah, so I would do the same. Transformations. This is such a Schwarze Auge thing to do. Yeah, a mile is not something sensible. Now it is 1,094 yards. It makes it old world, I suppose. Okay. If anybody from Schwarze Auge fanboys are watching this, you're gonna slaughter me. I know that. So let's have a look at the scene from the starting adventure. So we have track in the forest, track in the winter forest, and we've got the winter forest. From memory, this is quite a large scene, which allows you to, 5,000 by 5,000, which allows you basically to have the whole scenario on one scene. So let's activate it and go across. It's at night, so we've got a camp, and yeah, we've got a relatively large scene with encounters on it from memory. So I'm going to turn up the light a little bit so we can see it. Oh, hang on. There's a little black eye GM menu here. I haven't seen that before. Journal. Oh, that's a good way of getting to the journal browser. To the library. Excellent. I love it. I love it. Really well done, guys. And we've got characters. The breeding pit. This is, I believe, something where the monsters come up. And scene configuration. So let's just take this for a moment. We've changed... Oh, and I like that. Did you see how that dimmed rather than just switching on and off? There's a fade effect on it. All right. Now, one thing is always a little bit the translations. I mean, I am German. I've lived in Britain for... It's not even true anymore. As we say in German, es gar nicht mehr wahr. For such a long time, I can't count them up. 25, 26 years. And something I see the slight impairment. Do they really mean slight? Do they mean sight? Is it really impairment they're looking for? If so, it's misspelled. So, Schwarze Auge, yeah, it's a huge system, I know, and I have the luxury of being over here for such a long time, but I just wonder sometimes whether the accuracy is there for the translations. I think this one, group fate points, yeah, okay, I think you can also ask for checks here, but yeah, I know that you can, there's even... things you can code into your journals, and you can say request a roll on a certain skill. You click on it as a GM, everybody just gets a pop-up, clicks on roll this, and they roll it right away. So the management that they have put into this, and I need to research this a bit more to be able to show you it. But the management around how you manage dice rolls and how you manage the characters is really cool. So this is a scene. Have you got any walls on here? Yeah, here we've got terrain walls, we've got other walls around the chasm down the middle. We have light, we had the firelight at the top. Yeah, that's there. We got sounds, oh look at this, can you see it? So carefully tagged up with things like audio bundle. Okay, so you need the audio bundle here. Hydrology, streams and rivers. There's a stream sound here looping when you get close to the river. So they really invested some time in making pretty maps and tagging this up. Somebody clearly knows their way around Foundry. Yeah, so let's drop an icon on it. Characters. Orestas. He sounds cool. Now, one thing is you will have to zoom in quite a bit to be able to see this. So we've got the visibility range, and you probably can't hear any sound effects and all, but let's get close to the river, and I might have to check my sound levels on here. Yeah. So I can't fall into the chasm. I'm trying, but I can't, and I can't climb up there. So there's probably going to be a way, but I'm just going to lift myself over it to get to the river. So, can I hear the sound? I can just hear the music, so let me switch the music off for a moment. I thought I could... Oh, here it is. I hear any sound? Yes. Can you hear it in the background? So we've got the stream there now, and of course that adds to the immersion. It is something I know I can do. Yeah, you can hear how this sound changes. But I never bother for my own maps, so having somebody do it for you is pretty cool. So there's a louder river sound here, and a softer one there. That's a bit sudden. Okay, it gives you some variations. And then we've got some drone on the background. Let me check whether it picks it up on the levels. Probably can hear it creak now, the forest. Go back to the river. It mixes two sound sources together there, that's pretty cool. I just wonder how much of a distraction that's going to be. You're having this all the time in the background. Okay. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Now, can I remember how to do this? So, I think with a little bit of effort, I might be able to get to the bottom of the screen now. Oh, it stretches it too far away. Not sure what it's doing right now. What I'm trying to show you is the token toolbars here at the bottom, but I can't quite get to them. That's a shame. Let me just switch this to an overlay. A friend of mine showed me recently. Magnifier, zoom increment, lens. So if I zoom into that now, you might be able to see it. Ooh, can you see it? It's behind me, isn't it? Best laid plans, guys. Best laid plans. And I can shift this over a bit. So I'm gonna put it there. Get rid of this so you can just see some backdrop. And now you should be able to see it, hopefully. So you can see that there are macro setup toolbars. Yeah, for this particular token. So I've got self-control, checks, warfare, body control, survival. And I've got some of the other skills I've got. So let's try one out. Let's go for warfare. I get this pop-up. So modifier, challenging. I can change all sorts of stuff. So it's courage, intelligence, and something I don't know. And tells me my situation. And then yeah, GM arbitrariness. That sounds really arbitrary to have that as a translation. I have no idea what that means. So let me roll this now. And what do we get here? Warfare test. This is how it's passed out. I need to make this bigger again. Oh, this messes with my brain. So this is what we get. Can you see it at the bottom? So we get 3d20. Modifier skill levels, and it does all the maths for you. So it tells you here that it's a success. Now, I have no idea how they get to that success. Let me get rid of the lens again. Oh, do I get rid of this? Like that. So if I hover over it, is there anything I can do? I can edit it. I can edit the numbers, and this is actually something in the options I, again, like. You can roll manually and enter the numbers for your test. So you don't have to use the dice roller that is built in if you don't want to. It is in the options. I spotted it when I had a quick look earlier. So if you go to System Settings, it says in here lots of things, but no confirmation roll. That's for criticals. Check with real dice here at the bottom. And I need the overlay again, don't I? There, check with real dice. Yeah, and if you tick that, basically it will prompt you to roll the dice and enter the number you rolled. And I know that people are sometimes really enjoying rolling their own dice. And again, they build it into here. Ace. Really like it. So, get rid of my overlay again. Where was I? We were looking at the scene, we were looking at the sounds, so definitely they've spent a lot of time and art hours on this to make this look pretty and sound good. And we have the same scene with a track. Now what's different on those? Tracks in the forest. Right click, activate, hop across. So yeah, again, I think the grey around it just makes it look horrible. It looks too Roll20 with that on. And I probably would reduce the visibility of the grid a little bit. Just so it doesn't stand out like, oh, I'm doing maths, I've got my maths book here. And here we've got some journal entries. So unknown. Why is it unknown? Unknown. I think something went wrong here with the import of journal entries onto the map, journal pins. Let's see whether that's on the other one, because we've got two of those. We've got tracks in winter and tracks in the summer. This is dark. Oh, this is slightly different. Okay, and I have to admit I don't actually remember this adventure very much. But here we've got some doors in it, we've got some lights in it, so the scene is slightly different. Have we got any journals on here? No, doesn't look like it. So I don't know what went wrong there. So let's leave the scenes behind for a moment, but let's go to one where I can actually see something. Which was the winter forest, Winterwald. Activate. There we go. You've seen earlier that I've got my actors set up here. So they are set up with nice little pictures, completely backgroundless standees, but once you pull them on, you get the tokens. Again, I know Schwarze Auge, when they do little cardboard counters, also Hexen, Ulisses always do this sort of stuff. They give you the big surrounds. Now, I personally don't like them. I think that the frame is too big, but that's just me. So this is my character sheet, and I might have to go... Let's turn the drone down a bit. With my lens again. Thanks to Paul for showing me this stuff. So we've got the character up here, we've got the name, we've got the stats with the different colors. So this is the recommended D20 colors you can have. We have life points, we've got, what do they call them? I guess karma points. We have fate points, 3 of them, which I believe are made for rerolls and bonuses and so on. And then we've got all the skills here. Right. So, lots of skills, and you always have the skill number behind them.
Hi there.
Hi there.
I'm taking a break for the time being, but what I read was interesting.
Good, good. Just so you know, you're being recorded.
Okay.
And if I wanted to search for the skills, come on, I need to get rid of the overlay again. If you want to search for skills, because there are so many, you can, for example, treat wounds. Treat, yeah. It pulls them up. So that's, again, I have not seen that on another character sheet, that you can just search for different skills. Of course, it's a function of how many skills you've got. If you're looking at a old school game without any functions, without any skills, or without more than 3 or 4 feats or something, you will not need this. But yeah, we've got different tabs. We've got combat here. We've got maneuvers. We've got encumbrance tracking, we've got Rhonda's stressed weapon, so I can attack with it. Somehow. Attack. Roll. Yeah, so what have we got? Modifiers. I can do it public or not. Encumbrance. Have I got visibility impairment, slight impairment? Yeah, okay, there's a slight impairment. Shape, invisible, lucky hit. I can be cramped, I can fight with the wrong hand, so lots of stuff you can do here. And I still don't know what GM arbitrariness means. So if I want to attack, can I roll without a target? I can, and I failed. Roll 13. There's a plus. If I go onto it, it will show me what the modifiers were, which is nice. So you don't always get spammed with modifiers. You can expand them. I guess I can do a damage roll straight from here. Yeah, damage 7. And it shows me the individual dice, which is nice. We've got the religion. So this person seems to be some sort of cleric. Blessed one. Yeah, a blessed one is a cleric. Ein Gesegneter. Oder eine Gesegnete. With favored skills, etc. I believe you can pull them on when you make a character. That was really impressive. Not sure whether I'm going to get to it in this stream. We've got the attributes and what that means. Advances. Alright. We've got equipment. A lot of equipment. That hopefully means that there's some encumbrance. So the weights are all listed. And then at the bottom we've got carrying capacity 28 stone. Really? 28 stone is a lot. Yeah, I have to look at my converter. Let's see. Okay, Google. What's 28 stone in kilograms?
28 stone is equal to 177.808 kilograms.
So there must be Aventurian stone, because I doubt that most people are able to walk around carrying 177.8 kilograms around with them. Even if you're blessed one. Yeah, that seems a bit high. But okay. Hey, it's not the system I know, so people will know this better than I do. So, character sheet is quite packed, full of information. I can post anything here, like items I can post to chat. Oh, and I've got little icons and pictures here. Let's see. So it's not just the price and the category you're posting, you're also posting the picture. Which is actually a nice touch. Knife. Okay. State, I think these are for status effects. Yeah, that's what it says. So if you're under the impact of a spell, this will be adjusted. And I've got my notes, so I've got my biography in here. Distinguishing mark as a distinguishing mark. I love it. My height is my height, my weight is my weight, so half filled in. I know it's a midden realmer, but yeah, you can't be judgmental on things. And I guess people can do this themselves. We've got notes down here, an extra field. We have a private note. I guess that means that the other players can't see it. And we've got GM notes, and that's something I again like. You can have a GM note against a character that the player can't see. That's lovely. So that's actually one of the reasons why I'm looking at this. There are so many good ideas in this module. So it's definitely worthwhile looking over your own little garden fence. So this is the introduction adventure now. Sorted properly, manually. Yeah, a lot of people forget that you can do that. So we've got the description of the setting here to start it. And we've got the introduction of the adventure, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody, so don't look too long if you don't want to see it. Read aloud to your players. Yeah, I haven't got it enabled, but if something like this long is to be read out, I always use the narrator tool and then do it bit by bit so people can read along or refer back to it if they can't hear me properly. With the internet, you never know. They're going to look for, oh, this is what I was looking for. Looking for herbs. And this is something, again, that I really like in what I've seen in Tom's videos. You can actually have these group checks. So what I can do is I can do a cumulative challenge. So the group as a whole needs to get a certain number of successes. I click on here. It says in the chat, Game Master requests a role in plant law, and then each player can click on that to contribute to the group check. Really good. Really like that. Right. So that was the next one in the journal. We've got the notes for the Game Master. Okay, there's not a lot. I'm not going to share that. We've got the quick start. So, I wonder whether that should be before the overview. Probably, because this is now what's a role-playing game, and if you already played the first scenes. Alright. The Dark Eye, Schwarze Auge. The end of the story. There's treasure to be done. There is a player must check. There's a broken journal link here as well. Interesting. Healing potions, quality level 3. So the players must pick locks. Each player can only make one attempt, so that will work the same way. Yeah, and then people can click on it and do the roll. Oh, I like that. I really like that. Request rolls. And then you get adventure points. Right. Yeah, so much I've seen in Tom's videos that I'm trying to find now. The Orcs hideout. Now I think that they are all on the same map, so they're not different maps for this, but As I said, the journey links seem to have broken, so I would have to read up exactly where they're supposed to be. Says the orcs are near the tree. Well, okay, that helps. The dark eye, yeah, okay, some of this definitely is not in the right order. Gateway to Aventuria. It's a very deep setting, so if you like your deep settings, typical fantasy, then do check this out. Excuse me. The trail. Yeah. So that's the introduction. Have you got any roll tables? Let me just double check that whether there were any. General entry scenes, macros, no. Don't see any roll tables in this, which is interesting. Most games will have some, so let me have a look at what they say about critical. Let's go back to my GM tools. Combat. Critical hits are often rolled. Excuse me. I thought I was done with this cold. So weapon reach I explained, modifiers I explained, critical successes. Oh, it's just half and double. Botches, simple failure. Oh yeah, okay, there's no roll tables here. Okay, and music. I don't think there's any music included with the module. Mischance, guys. At least you should be able to buy them and add them in. Because there's a lot of music available for the Schwarze Auge. So, yeah, as I said, I can't possibly do all of this. Oh, look, that's interesting. See the little status icon on this player here? As an anchor with a number 1 on the top left, and I think that's encumbrance. So if I look at this, yeah, encumbrance 1. So modifying a 1. So that's nicely visible as well. If I put her to the combat tracker, I've got the initiative right away. Roll initiatives, 19.14. Okay. Mark defeated. It's encumbered. And visibility. That's pretty much unmodified. Yeah, we've got the sign to say she's in battle. Attack. Oh, we can do attack test straight from here. Oh, that's good. So if you've got a number of NPCs on there, you don't have to open the character sheets and stuff. You can just click on this little icon here. Might be time for the lens again. You can click on this little icon here, and that does an attack test for you. So roll. Go to the chat, and then there's the attack. Yeah, so another cool feature in the system. Right, looking at the time, I've been rambling on and showing you this stuff for 40 minutes. I think as a starting point, this is really cool. So hopefully enough for you to get an understanding of it. There's a lot of content here. As I said, this is the core rule set only in the quick start, or the introductory adventure. You've got a good number of characters here. You've got some beasties. You've got a toad, always like toads. You've got a gotongi, which looks like a bat to me. You've got a cat, you've got to have a cat. You can't do without cats. You've got some NSCs here. You've got an orc. Orcs in this setting are fairy. Yeah, I used to make orcs as little minis and paint them roughly in this color because I had seen Schwarze Auge orcs in the pictures. And we've got a lot of careers here. We've got combat techniques, so a lot of relevant information, reference information that you need, special abilities, and how you. And we've got this series. Yeah, this is also interesting. The English version has always got more modest picture than the German version. Actually, I might just try this. Create an actor. And yeah, I'll just briefly see what happens. So if I wanted to decide now about the origin of my character, go to the items, I go to cultures, I say, okay, I want a forged dwarf, and I think from memory you can drag and drop it. Drop it. Yeah, you get the description, you get the special skills, what languages are there, you get the advantage or disadvantage. So please select the adequate options of the culture Forged Dwarf and confirm to add it for 31 adventure points to your characters. So I would like a literate dwarf. So now updated to 33. So the character generation is sort of built into this. So advantages and disadvantages. Yeah. Boons and burdens, as some other game systems call it. So I might say, oh, I want to have an aptitude for metalworking. That costs me 18 points. I want to have earthen craft. Don't even know what that means. I want to have this. This is 18, 24, 34. More than I have, so I need to have a disadvantage of some sort. Let's say I'm avaricious. Okay, there are missing choices. 62 adventure points. 67. Oh, okay, I guess I was a bit too avaricious here. Let's see if I balance them out. That's 24. It's going to take a lot of balancing out, isn't it? Let's take the earthen craft out. That could be a bit clearer. 33 was it? I was aiming for? 33. I'm still getting there missing choices. I selected something here. Selected something here. Yeah, so I'm slightly lost now. I will have to look up because I don't know the rules, guys. So I'm going to cancel out of this one. But what you can basically do is you can pull cultures onto there. You can pull advantages, disadvantages onto there. You can pull equipment on there, of course. Liturgies you've learned, spells you've learned, and skills if they're not already on there. There are some special skills, I believe, that you pull onto the character sheet only if you have them. So, for example, area knowledge. Is that included? Let's use my handy search. No. So if I wanted area knowledge, that would have to be added manually. Entry of what area? I have no idea. Warhome. How many experience points am I happy to spend on that? 900. And if I now go back, hopefully it will show somewhere that I added this. Where are special scales, do we think? Not there. Not there. I would expect them under skills, wouldn't you? Area knowledge. It's not there. Okay. Don't know why not. As I said, I probably, if you guys want to see more of this, then tell me. Dwarf. You see, these guys got loincloths on, so that's for the American market, I guess, not for the German market. There are missing choices. What choices do I need to make now? Oh, okay. My agility is lower. I get dark sight. I get immunity to Tulmadron. And I can up this. 71 points, it says. Let's try that again. 20. Dark side, 40. It goes up rather than down. I guess you get a limit set for how many adventure points you start with. I guess that's how that works. And yeah, we'll need to roll this. But as I said, I'll look it up rather than rambling on. So I hope this is of interest. The key, I think, is actually how they implemented it. Yeah, just to go back very briefly at the end here. This way of looking at the booklet overall, having the navigation bar collapsible on the left, being able to search stuff here, for example, magic or ranged combat. So if I'm in this one and I want to find out ranged combat, yeah, you just go in there, poof, you've got the rule. That is something I wish that more module developers could use, could get their head around. The being able to call a roll from the players, I think that's really cool as well. Being able to have a sort of darkness threshold here in a sliding scale. I know there are modules to do this, but I quite like that. Translations. What do they mean by shape and barely shape? You can see shapes. Is that what they're saying? At that distance, you can see just the shape of something, not the face. And at that distance here, you get the next modifier down, and that distance there, yeah, I guess so, but... Or light levels. They are cleverer than me there. And I'm guessing... This is also lovely. You've got all the English names, and then da-da-da-da-da-da, gambling. And then you've got gaukelei, which is sort of what a fool might do. Flip about, yeah, do somersaults, gaukelei, juggling. That's not translated. But most of it is translated. Good. Anyway, enough rambling. Yeah, if you want to know more about the Schwarze Auge, you might be able to make me read some of the stuff I've got. I've got all the rule books. I bought this on the English version of it on a humble bundle, I think it was, or maybe it was a bag of holding. And I've got it all, and I used some of the adventures because I pilfer the adventures for Forbidden Lands. But yeah, I'm not quite sure I will ever get my head around the 3D20 tests. Anyway, if you found this interesting, let me know in the chat. If you want to see Foundries in general, then let me know again. But some of the features here I just love. So well done, whoever developed this. I think it's somebody called Niemand on YouTube. Yeah, I'm impressed with that.